2. T.O.M. Teachers of Maat. Who am I today? The scribe, been forever, but the name changes with the times. I come from a place where space is home. I go into realms where your face is gone. A change gon' come. As a teen, hypnotized deep in a sleep, party and slumber. 11 life path number, a life of death that's rebirth. Recall realities to reemerge. Soul purge, I'll lend you frequency like loan words. Before I teach, I'll spit a poem first. Step on stage, set the stage, car walking, set ablaze, divine fire. The body is divine attire, sewn from words, sound frequency, awakening dreams. Don't pinch me every day I wake up, it's a home birth. Start from zero to become the heroes. Cycles of time causes expansion of mind. Potential is exponential. Gain XP, what your power made of. I've had to face self, face to fate, a double fate. What will I make of the present? I'm just trying to pet heaven. Twice great, 2 arms up is none to wave. It's nothing to wave. God separate the waters from the waters. Genesis 1 and 6. See, that source is thousands of years prior to a Bible even existing. It's called the pet word for heaven. Watchers of noon, primordial, pre-ordered, bringing order in order. Its laws the scales will represent. A double gift, read present, Ray is present. Ra, amen to the God inside. The crown will glow as consciousness grows. So what assignment are you on? I do my best to do my best. Lead with the left, heart out my chest. By step out of the flesh. On my crown is the Nemez, Corona shining. I do my best to do my best. Lead with the left, heart out my chest. By step out of the flesh. On my crown is the Nemez, Corona shining. Serpent mind winding in alignment. Straight from Orion, the origins. Dig into the Rem Qem originals, the oracle speaking. Your aura is gleaming. The sons of God, Amen Ra. Who can't afford a reason to fall below your own means, meaning reaching beyond the firmament ceiling. I see linguistics tricking us deep into sleeping. The way we live inception, I must be dreaming. Doubles, double L, square root, mirrors, reverse the image. My grip was slipping. Almost forgot the point of the mission. Statements point out all the contradictions. Blatant truth lives where my eye is foundation. Yeah, co-founded a nation. Dictionary study spells can be scary. Etymology, this here is completion. Cycle circles, dualism, wisdom. I peddle flowers. 2 eyes are watching to see through the double realm I'm healing. Never out of what's within him. Infinite reasons, just like my brother Arcad. Always remain calm against demons. Death culture, to be alive here, it's a lie here. They crossed us into thinking that death isn't living. The lies are falling through my palms, arm wide, holes in my hand. The Pope's in command, I demand the throne back. Ancient teachings, I'm a throwback. Picture that, see this moment here is cold that. So black, I see through lies. Why they hold that, ocean motions. I'm flowing through noon in the boats of consciousness. My tongue is rolling, planting seeds, sowing, knee of speaking, untangled quantum DNA, spitting frequencies. I hear Christians scream hallelujah, and this ain't that the name of God is God. I must bring the order back, the scales are tipping. In the court of Allah, moonshine to Houthi is Yah. This here is Ptah, bulldozing, the one chosen. Focus, when the light hits you, just open like lotus. Melt your mind when in mind time is frozen. Blow minds, my mind is golden. Coat me in gold, I've got a gold coat round me like I'm T.O.M. Like his, when you spell my name, put 3 lines in. Scribe, presenting the law's findings. Who's he? I'm me, an echo of Tahuti. Yes, I do my best to do my best. Lead with the left, heart out my chest. By step out of the flesh. On my crown is the Nemez, Corona shining. We do our best to do our best.
Black Watch Legion. Let me give you reason. Here is the jade. Time to get paid? No. Time to get laid? No. No entertainment in this show. So let's...
Hotep. Peace. Can y'all brothers hear me?
Yes, sir. Hotep.
Yes, sir.
Peace and love, everybody. Welcome to the Teachings of Maat Study Guide Sunday. Scribe, I got some music, bro. Little intro. Hotel. Welcome everybody in the chat. Welcome to the Teachings of Maat Study Guide Sunday. Today's topic is Isfet, do no harm. Before we begin, we will do as we do every week consistently. Before I introduce everybody on the panel, we will begin with our beautiful affirmation. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Unki Qem Maat, Un-N-S, Nintet Oset Qem Maat, Min Hepapet Qem Maat, Her Inhu Kui, Per Ikut. I live for Maat. I exist within her. I do not speak in the place of Maat. Every day I advance towards Maat. My being is surrounded in darkness. I come forth as conscious light. Hotep. Scribe. Little background music, please.
Yes, sir. I got you,
my
brother.
What's going on, good brothers? Welcome everybody to another beautiful Sunday. I am the mighty Atef Rem Qem Maat. I am the chairman of the organization. I am the Techetu. I am also a student of the master teacher, the great Saba Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. I am the host of this weekly study guide, Teachings of Maat, a true-hearted follower of truth based on ancestral artifacts and a love of my people unconditionally, dedicated to the learning the Medunetta and loyal defender of Maat. Next, we have the general, the great Atef Maat. Atef Maat was taught under the great Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. He has been a serious student and teacher of Kemetic culture and history for several years. He has written multiple books, including the textbook called Journey of Your Soul series, essays and articles. Furthermore, he hosts in-person and online classes, weekly podcasts, and periodically creates documentaries. He also has experience in public speaking and academic debating. He is responsible for the creation of this weekly study guide and the Teachings of Maat. Next, we have the scribe Ani Patah Aten Tahuti. He is a writer, poet, spoken word artist, audio producer and engineer, healer, spiritual advisor, consultant, and business creator. He is a master student of the Natiru, a true follower and protector of Maat, a scribe of Tahuti and Maat. He studies under the master teacher, Saba Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. For the scribe, quality always outweighs quantity. He enjoys observing reality and incorporating these observations into his writings and creations to assist in awakening a dormant DNA and reversing of negative hypnosis. Next, we have the mighty Menkua Ra. Menkua Ra specializes in training and educating youth workers, counselors, and educators about arts, culture, and history. He travels the world to experience how people live and shares it with everyone who is interested in learning the research he has witnessed. He has a master's degree in entertainment and media business and has been working in the music industry and with nonprofit agencies, providing program planning and promoting concerts and community events in the Madison area for over 30 years. During that time, he has facilitated the following innovative after-school programs for Madison School Community Recreation that include Hip Hop 101, Music Production 101, and MP4 music programs for youth. Welcome everybody to the Teachings of Maat Study Guide Sundays. Peace and love.
Peace.
Peace and love, everyone. Welcome. I hope you all had a great weekend. We're definitely in for a beautiful class today. We know the great brother Atef is going to teach us some things that are very important to us as a people. So I look forward to your class, good brother. Now, before we start, I want to go over a couple things. I do want to show some support that came in throughout the week. We always love to acknowledge and hail the supporters of the Teachings of Maat. You guys are wonderful. All right, so we'll start with this great sister here, Angela Gates. She sends $10. She sent this earlier in the week as well. So out to you and shout out to you. You're an excellent and wonderful supporter, and we appreciate everything that you support us with. Great sister. You also came to the screen to support Saba Tahuti Amenhotep Ra this past Friday on the pod class and let your tone be heard. And we definitely appreciate the support that you give us. So Tu'a to you, hail to you. All right, next we have the great brother Nito Campbell. He sends $5 for peace, everyone. The most consistent supporter on YouTube. This brother hasn't missed 1 week. I'm gonna have to go back and see when he first started because it's got to be over a year now. Every single week that this brother supports. So, Tu'a to you, Nito Campbell, who is Squano trending in the chat room if you see him. All right, let's give a shout out to some people. Let's see, Stephen E, the good brother Stephen E. Hotep Maat, good brothers and sisters. Ankh Ucha Seneb. Yes, peace to you, Ankh Ucha Seneb, to you, good brother. This is one of the class members of the Medu Netter Monday. So this brother is going to be very, very powerful. So shout out to you, good brother Stephen E. Here's the great sister Angela Gates, who shows her support consistently to us and to Saba Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. Peace to you. Let's see, we got the good brother Minku, who's on the panel. Hotep, peace and power, everyone. Peace and power. Master K. Very serious face, good brother. You like you ready for war. Need one of these that the great brother Minku provided for us. Namaste, Hotep Maat. Peace to you. Yes, sir. The beautiful sister Maria Ben Sebi. She says, Hotep, great netters. Hotep to you. Peace and love to you. Big Vape, FKA Righteous. He always doing his emojis. So shout out to you. Yes, sir. Shout out to you. All right. So I do want to just go over a couple things real quick before the brother does his beautiful presentation. First, I just want to tell everyone that we are on social media platforms. So if you have a TikTok, I want you to go and follow us on TikTok, Teachings of Maat. We have a Twitter as well, twitter.com/teachingsmaat. And all of this can be found. I'll post the link in the chat, or one of the good brothers here will post the link in the chat for you to have access to all of our social platforms. Or you can go to the website at teachingsofmaat.org, and all of this is there as well. So be sure to follow us on all social platforms. Like, subscribe on this channel here. Leave your comments and share this video out to your Facebook, your Instagram, and help get this information out there. And I also want to show our merch. So you can purchase a beautiful Teachings of Maat hoodie, shirt, long sleeve, short sleeve at the teachingsofmaat.org website. And we have a newsletter. So when you go to the website, you scroll all the way down to the bottom. You can put your email address in if this is your first time, and you'll get 10% off for your first purchase. And members who are members of the Teachings of Maat, if you want to become a member, of course, you can just reach out to us, and all members get 10% off for as long as they are a member. So it's a wonderful, wonderful incentive. And you can see the great brother Ahati Maat and Atef Rem Qem. They have on their beautiful Teachings of Maat merch right now. So yes, definitely support the T.O.M by showcasing your merch. Then I also want to show this. We have our Discord. We have a Discord community that we are growing. So it's a wonderful, wonderful Discord, and we host meetings there as well for any and all people to come through and let your voice be heard. So I'll post that link in the chat, and it's also in the description box. So all these links are in the description box as well for those who are watching after. So I'll post the Discord link right now, and yeah, join our Discord. And then lastly, I want to show this as well. So we have a creativity advertisement section. So if you have a business that you want to promote, let me move this banner. If you have a business that you want to promote, you can definitely reach out to us, and for a free will donation of at least $20, we'll give you a minute dedicated to yourself for you to promote your business. Whether it's doesn't matter what it is. Of course, we'll be in conversation with it, and if it's in alignment with the energy that we're putting out, of course, we'll allow you the platform for a minute to put yourself out there and let the people see what you are doing to gain and attract some customers. So we definitely allow business promotion here, and also we also allow for those to showcase skill set and things that they provide. So if you're an artist, if you're a rapper or a singer, or you just you're a creator, whatever it is that you do, and you want people to be able to follow you on Instagram or TikTok or Twitter or wherever your social platforms are, you can definitely gain some attention here. And all you have to do is message us at teachingsofmaat.org, and we'll figure that out, and we'll work you into the show. So this is definitely a great opportunity for everyone to take advantage of. So be sure to do so. Be sure to definitely take advantage of this. All right, and that's all I'll show for right now. Just want to put that out there early, so the people coming in and all of you who are watching after, you can take advantage of all these things that we provide here at the T.O.M. So peace and love, Atef Maat, and I am ready for the great brother Atef and his wonderful presentation. So peace and love.
Atef, peace and love, everybody. All right, let me get this set up. How's everybody doing? Y'all ready for this roller coaster ride?
Let's go.
Hey, look, I only got the questions. Hey, I just got the ATEM. I just got the mirror. That's it. I just got the mirror, everybody. Let's see if we can get this started. Set this up. Like, subscribe, comment, like the good brother Scribe said. Peace and love to everybody in the chat. Bam. Give me 1 minute. Scribe, I gotta share the whole entire screen to make it play video, right? That correct?
Yes, you can do entire screen, or if you have it in the same window of Chrome, you can do share tab audio in Chrome tab.
Try it like this. It's showing. My screen sharing, Scribe?
Yes, it's sharing.
Okay. All right. Can everybody in the chat hear me? What is the leading cause of accidental death in the United States? Surpassing even car accidents. Y'all ready for this roller coaster ride? We are finna go. Scribe, can you help me out? Can you comment on? I can't see the chat. So what is the leading cause of accidental deaths in the United States, surpassing even car accidents? Anybody know? Any answers in the chat? What is the chat saying? What is the leading cause of car accidents? All right, here we go.
We're still waiting.
Everybody in the chat hear him? I don't
Ain't
know
no
if they
chat,
can,
ain't no comments, no comments.
Put them on
Yeah,
in the chat if
All
you hear.
good. Huh? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Anyway, moving right along. So we don't got no y'all scared in the chat to comment. So what is the leading cause of accidental death in the United States, surpassing even car accidents?
Oh, Big Vapes answered. Hold on.
What did he say? What did he say? What did he say?
It said
Big Vapes.
medical malpractice.
Oh, nice. Excellent, excellent. Medical malpractice. Nice.
Stephen E said shooting innocent bystanders.
Shooting innocent bystanders. Those are very, very, very good. However, the leading cause of accidental death is drug overdose. Did everybody know that? Nope. But we didn't. And the reason why we don't know that is because they don't tell us that. That's not shared in our community. Our community don't talk about drug overdoses. Drug overdose. All right. So, has anybody in the chat? I need a lot of participation. Has anybody in the chat ever broken a bone or had any dental work done? Maybe had your wisdom teeth removed? Anybody in the chat? Or any type of surgery, cosmetic surgery, any medical necessary surgery? Anybody ever had a wisdom teeth pulled? What about you brothers on the panel? Any of you brothers on the panel ever broke a bone? Yeah, I know I never broke a bone in my life, guys. I never broke a bone.
So Big Vapes says 4 wisdoms on the same side. Same day.
Wow. On the same day. Wow. Wow. That's a lot, man.
Stephen E said, broke my pinky twice. Laughing out loud, surgery on my right rotor cuff.
Nice. Shout out to you, Stephen E. My daughter said my big toe is broken. I don't know if that's true. But anyway, so what percentage of the U.S. is on opioids? Does anybody know? Does anybody know, especially any of you that had any comments that had their wisdom teeth pulled? What about you, Big Vapes? Do you know what percentage of the U.S. is on opioids? Anybody know? What about you, Stephen E? You broke your pinky twice. Do you know what percentage of the U.S. are on opioids? Does everyone know what an opioid is? No comments. No comments.
Not yet, brother.
I need participation, guys. I need participation. I know.
Stepping it up.
No teeth pull for me. So what you say, bro?
I'm just waiting on the comments. None yet.
60
oh, wait. Hold on.
Stephen E.
Stephen
There
E.
you go. Yeah, wow.
Stephen
60
E.
to 70%. Nice. Nice. Wow. Well, in 2019, 22.1% of U.S. adults with chronic pain use a prescription opioid in the past 3 months, per the CDC. So in 2019, 22.1% of U.S. adults with chronic pain used a prescription opioid. So we have some brothers in the chat that broke their toe twice. Some people had their 4 wisdom teeth pulled at one time. That's a lot, bro. That's serious there. So let's check out this video real quick. Scribe, play turn the volume down real quick. Can y'all hear my video? Check
So you
out my
recall me
video,
saying
guys.
opioids can actually have an effect on the respiration centers of the body. So in the brainstem, but also into an area called the hypothalamus. So you have to understand that right now, as you're breathing, your body is, like monitoring everything, right? You have respiratory rhythms going from to your diaphragm, coming from the brainstem, saying breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, right? Your brain is monitoring how much carbon dioxide is actually in your bloodstream. And so then when carbon dioxide starts to increase, it'll actually reflexively cause you to inhale oxygen or exhale the carbon dioxide and inhale oxygen. But if you're overdosing on an opioid, that can get so saturated by the opioids themselves that you can't overcome that. And so what'll happen is you will actually die from respiratory depression, right? You literally cannot breathe because the opioids have completely saturated those areas, right? The opioid receptors on those areas. And the only way out of that is with another opioid called naloxone. Also, sometimes people will call it Narcan. That's a brand of it. So what they'll do is by administering Narcan or naloxone, what'll happen is those will actually bind to those same receptors and prevent fentanyl, morphine, or any of the other opioids from getting there. And it will actually, so then what will happen is the person will come out of it. They'll be able to breathe again. And typically they'll go immediately into withdrawals, and that will make them very uncomfortable. So if you recall me saying,
wow, okay. Wow. So we looked at how opioids affect the body during overdose and how it affects the respiratory system. Can y'all hear me? And the brain. Yes. Wow, that's crazy. So now let's look at some metal netta, right? I see Stephen E. Shout out to you, good brother. He say never took the medication prescribed. Much don't like pills. That's the stuff. So let's go to the next slide. Let's look at some metal netta, man, because I think that this is important, right? Let's take a deep dive at some metal netta. Let's look at the word ma'at for a second. Let's examine this for a second, right? So the definition for ma'at is thy genuine friend or real form, a just judge, the title of Tahuti, a man of truth, doubly true, the king's truth, the scales balance exactly, the beautiful truth, truly honest. Y'all remember from my very first presentation, ma'at and culture is what inspired me to begin my presentation, and it was the conversation that I originally had with my brother about ma'at. So it's important that we look at this again. So ma'at also means truth, integrity, uprightness, justice, the right, validity, right? So the king's truth, the scales balance exactly. This is very, very interesting. Now, let's look at this definition again. So here's another definition of ma'at, and it says a goddess, the personification of law, order, rule, truth, right, righteousness, canon, justice, straightness, integrity, uprightness, and of the highest conception of physical and moral law known to the Cometians. Now, guys, y'all know who my teacher is, right? I got the best teacher on the planet, without a doubt. So this is a roller coaster ride. So a lot of this is just me telling a story. And I just want to shout out to my goddess because it was a lot of energy. It's a lot of behind the scenes that go into creating these presentations. It's a lot of discussion. And I'm not all complicated and fancy with it yet. I'm getting there. I'm getting better. But the energy and the dialogue that was sparked from me creating this presentation was actually beautiful. It was so beautiful. So here we have Ma'at is a goddess, the personification of law and order and truth, the personification of righteousness, the personification of justice, straightness, integrity, uprightness, and of the highest conception of physical and moral law known to the Cometians. Yes, we do have the best teacher. Shout out to you, Stephen E. So, in examining the beautiful Ma'at. Here is a beautiful picture in the tomb of the Valley of the Kings, the Queen Nefertari. This is QV66. This is a beautiful picture as you enter. This is an actual picture of Ma'at. This is in the tomb of Nefertari, as you can see. Here's another beautiful picture of the beautiful goddess Ma'at, an actual picture, an actual ancestral artifacts over religious opinion. This isn't my opinion. This isn't something I'm making up. This is a picture that they drew of Ma'at, and this is in the tomb of Nefertari, QV66 in the Valley of the Kings. Right now, you can go visit this, and I suggest everyone look into the writings and the beautiful drawings and art that our ancestors left behind, because it is absolutely beautiful. Here's another picture of her in stone. Beautiful picture of Ma'at. the personification. And here's another picture of her, all in stone, right? Ancestral artifacts over religious opinion. Y'all know how we do at the teachingsofma'at.org. Saba Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. So, in saying that, in ancestral artifacts, y'all know that we have the best teacher. Stephen E. said we got the best teacher. Hindu Saba Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. So this is a some clippings that I took from one of his teachings that he did on stroke. I suggest everyone go check it out. He did it about a month ago. If you are breathing, I think that everyone needs to check this out. So right here we have the very first writings on anything that has to do with medicine or medical procedures or anything. And this is the Papyrus of Carlsberg and the Brooklyn Papyrus and the Ebers Papyrus. In quoting Saba, he said doctors and scientists attribute credit to followers of Ma'at under Tahuti. And this is the reason doctors in Kemet were also the spiritual priests, because they understood that the mind falling way to the matrix, or Isfet, was the root of all or most ailments. Spiritual balance and healing accompanied with medicine was the cure. So Saba Tahuti says spiritual balance and healing accompanied with medicine was the cure, and that is according to the Ebers Papyrus. Today, doctors are not allowed to give spiritual advice. Saba did a podcast a few weeks ago. Check that out, the Tahuti podcast. Go check it out every Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time. He did an absolute phenomenal breakdown on strokes. So you don't have to be a Kemetian or be into anything. You just have to be breathing. You just have to exist, right? Right now, we're talking about drug overdoses and how they're affecting our community and our society. So I just wanted to touch on some of our beautiful ancient writings that address these things first, right? Let's talk about what happened first before we get all into the Isfet. So y'all know how we do. I had to give y'all some facts first. Had to give y'all some ancestral artifacts first. I had to show you guys the beautiful pictures of Ma'at personified. So now let's look at some other personifications. So y'all ready? Let's go. Scribe, hit my sound, Scribe. Turn the music down just a tad bit, good brother. Play this video. So here we go. We have Alexis Peterson from, it says, I am CDC. Alexis Peterson from the CDC. Okay, so I am CDC. So she's personifying the CDC. Let's go.
Almost 4 years ago, I landed at CDC in the Injury Center in an unconventional way. I've always loved science, and specifically the interplay between brain and human behavior. Luckily for me, I learned early on that the best scientists are often those who don't limit their interests to a narrow field of research, but rather look for multiple approaches and areas to work in. So I left academia, switched from neuroscience to public health, and became a disease detective in CDC's Epidemic Intelligence Service program. The EIS program allowed me to travel the globe to work on preventing the leading causes of injury and to detect disease outbreaks and stop their spread. I helped in the surveillance of fatal motor vehicle crashes in Thailand, a country that ranks second highest for rates of road traffic injury deaths in the world. I also worked on the surveillance of Zika virus infection among pregnant women, opioid overdose, marijuana-impaired driving, and now traumatic brain injury. By assisting other countries and states, I help keep Americans safe and healthy, a CDC goal. I'm grateful that it's never a dull day at work. Goal. I'm grateful healthy, a CDC goal. By assisting other countries and states, I help keep Americans safe and healthy, a CDC goal. Assisting other countries and states, I help keep Americans safe and healthy, a CDC goal. I'm grateful that it's never a dull day at work, and I love my job. I'm Alexis Peterson, and I am CDC.
Shout out to Alexis Peterson. She is CDC, and I am Maat. Y'all see what people are personifying today. Once upon a time, we personified truth, integrity, uprightness, right? We personified the beautiful truth. I showed y'all Maat. She said she personified the truth personified. So let's look at some national drug-involved overdoses. So, shout out to you, Alexis Peterson. She is the CDC. National drug-involved overdoses and deaths number among all ages by gender from 1999 to 2021. So let's look at this. So it says the national drug-involved overdose deaths number among all ages by gender 1999 to 2021. More than 106,000 persons in the U.S. died from drug-involved overdoses in 2021, including illicit drugs and prescription opiates. 106,000 people. Y'all see that? See my arrow right there? According to the CDC. 106,000 people. Go figure. Wow. Hey, man. How's everybody doing in the chat? Culture. Culture Scribe. Hey, Scribe, can you hear me, brother? Who's on the chat? All y'all brothers away? Culture. That's right, guys. We are going to do... Who's there?
I'm here, brother. We listening. We with you.
Drug culture.
We here, brother.
Drug culture. Tonight, we are going to talk about drug culture. That's right. Tonight, we're not going to talk about people's ethnic background. No more Russian, Chinese people. We're going to talk about something that affects everyone. Had some people break their bones. Had a brother in the chat had 4 wisdom teeth pulled. We're going to talk about drug culture, everyone. Y'all ready for this roller coaster ride? Angela Gay, shout out to you. She says, great. All right. Shout out to you, Stephen E. I see you say you're doing great in the chat. I just need a little participation, y'all know. So, what comes to mind when I say drug culture? Right? When I say drug culture, what comes to mind, everyone? Right? Because what comes to mind when I think of drug culture is the negative music that's being portrayed and that's penetrating our children's ear, promoting it, Molly, Percocet, whatever, all the different illicit drugs. I'm over 30, so I remember when rap music used to be positive. In fact, I remember there was a song called The Message. Don't push me because I'm close to the edge. But anyway, what comes to mind when we think of drug culture? BMF? Anyone familiar in the chat with BMF, this popular TV show? Put in the chat, anybody in the chat, if you are familiar with any of these shows. BMF, It's a story of the Black Mafia family. I think it's on Stars now. 50 Cent. Then we have Snowfall. Snowfall is it's a drama on the FX channel, it says. And if I believe I'm correct, I think it's about Freeway Ricky Ross and his escapades in drug selling or whatever. Yes, Stephen E. Drug culture is glorified in hip hop music right now, and it's a shame. It really is a shame. So, BMF is I think this is a show about a family of young brothers that got mixed up in the drug game, and Snowfall is about another popular, according to allegedly, according to court records, Freeway Ricky Ross. If you guys are familiar with that story and how the government played a role in that. Then we have Breaking Bad. I'm not too sure about this. I never watched Breaking Bad. I don't know if it's a true story. Is anyone familiar with Breaking Bad? Is it based on a true story or is it all made up? Because I know BMF is loosely based on a true story, so is Snowfall. But I'm not sure about Breaking Bad. I never really watched Breaking Bad, but I believe it's about a meth dealer or some type of drug dealer. Then next we have everyone's favorite. We have the number one show on TV right now, which is Power. Shout out to that brother there. I'm not sure if that's a true story or not. Anyone in the chat, if y'all familiar. It says, Maria Ben-Sibi says, not familiar with these shows, but I'm familiar with the 90s and early 2000s. Al Pacino and Robert De Niro movies. Yeah, Scarface. Yes. I didn't even put that on there, Maria. But I just wanted to show some popular ones that are popular right now, as far as the things that glorify drug culture. Narcos, I think that's based on, it's a picture of El Chapo on there, but I don't know how. Sons of Anarchy, Drugs, Motorcycles, Queen of the South, another TV show about drugs. But it seems to me that these shows glorify drugs. There's Grand Theft Auto. Everyone's familiar with that. Carjacking, drug selling. These are things that our children are exposed to. So I just wanted to touch that briefly. So moving right along. So Black Mafia family, let's say, right? So we got to speak facts. So it says, according to Wikipedia, Black Mafia family, prosecutors allege the Black Mafia family made over $270 million in the course of their operations. So right here, this TV show, Black Mafia Family, it says, according to Wikipedia, prosecutors allege the Black Mafia family made over $270 million in the course of their operations. I believe that one of those brothers is still incarcerated right now because of his escapades in drug dealing. And then it says Freeway Ricky Ross, this is Snowfall. During the height of his drug dealing, Ross is said to have sold $3 million in a day. According to the Oakland Tribune, in the course of his rise, prosecutors estimate that Ross exported several tons of cocaine to New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and elsewhere. He made more than $500 million between 1983 and 1984. Of course, this is according to Wikipedia. I'm not here to glorify drug dealing or the Black Mafia family or Rick Ross or Snowfall or any of those things. I'm just here to shed light on drug culture, right? Just to examine it a little bit and just look at what the amounts of money that they said was made, right? So it says BMF made $270 million, and it says that Rick Ross or Freeway Ricky Ross made an estimated $500 million between 83 and 84. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? We are just looking. We are just digging. We are just digging. So all of this, of course, is according to Wikipedia. This is Google. The children can easily find this information. It's readily accessible. It's nothing very complex about it. So there we have it. So some popular shows now being glamorized, BMF and Snowfall. And this is the two families that were involved in that. So, Scribe, throw in my music shortly.
Time opioid prescribing peaked in 2012. 255 million prescriptions were written. In over 10% of US counties, enough opioid prescriptions were written for every single citizen to have one. But there was a problem. If you hand out hundreds of millions of opioid pills, a lot of people are going to get addicted. Since its very beginning, the drug war has been targeted at ethnic minorities and the poor. But now, with opioid prescribing, millions of people were getting addicted in white suburban neighborhoods.
I'm 39. I grew up in Quincy, and people I used to play sports with, and some people I used to hang out with. A lot of them, started on the OxyContin and the Percocet, and ended up becoming heroin addicts. And I've lost track now, but it's over 25 people that are no longer with us. They're deceased, and it wasn't just people that were coming from tough backgrounds. It was people that had good families, and they played sports, and they.
So if you come from a tough background, you can't have a good family? Is that what he just said?
They hung out with good people, and now are dead.
Back in 2010, authorities began cracking down on doctors in Florida who'd been overprescribing opioids. So, millions of people who'd become dependent on these medicines were suddenly cut off by their doctors. And this is where the true opioid crisis really begins. The greatest myth of the opioid epidemic is that the whole thing was caused by overprescribing. But it's not a true crisis until you add the war on drugs. Those addicted patients didn't just stop needing the drugs because their prescriptions ran out. So millions of them turned to the black market and started buying heroin. Inevitably, some of those users started dying. This is the point on the graph where heroin deaths begin to climb. Now, if there'd been suitable treatment options available, this crisis might have been averted, or at least eased. But unfortunately, authorities in both the US and Canada chose to deal with it the same way they've tried to deal with drug addiction for a century, as a war.
As a war. Y'all heard that? As a war. He said, did y'all hear that? He said as a
Time
war.
opioid prescribing peaked in 2012, dying. Additionally, authorities in both the US and Canada chose to deal with it the same way they've tried to deal with drug addiction for a century, as a war.
Okie dokie. As a war. Okay, so let's see if what he's saying is true. So here's a press conference. Here's a video of a press conference from June 17, 1971. And this is former President Nixon. And this is a press conference. So y'all heard that brother say the government chose to deal with it the way they deal with everything, as a war. So let's hear what the president has to say. Let's hear what this brother got to say.
Here, won't you be seated, please, ladies and gentlemen? Come on, Dr. Jaffe, Mr. Krogh, Mr. Ehrlich. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to summarize for you the meeting that I have just had with the bipartisan leaders, which began at 8 o'clock and was completed 2 hours later. I began the meeting by making this statement, which I think needs to be made to the nation. America's public enemy number one in the United States is drug abuse. In order to fight and defeat this enemy, it is necessary to wage a new all-out offensive. I have asked the Congress to provide the legislative authority and the funds to fuel this kind of an offensive. This will be a worldwide offensive dealing with the problems of sources of supply as well as Americans who may be stationed abroad wherever they are in the world. It will be government-wide, pulling together the 9 different fragmented areas within the government in which this problem is now being handled. And it will be nationwide in terms of a new educational program that we trust will result from the discussions that we have had. With regard to this offensive, it is necessary first to have a new organization. And the new organization will be within the White House. Dr. Jaffe, who will be one of the briefers here today, will be the man directly responsible. He will report directly to me. And he will have the responsibility to take all of the government agencies, 9, that deal with the problems of rehabilitation, in which his primary responsibilities will be research and education, and see that they work not at cross purposes, but work together in dealing with the problem. If we're going to have a successful offensive, we need more money. Consequently, I'm asking the Congress for $155 million in new funds, which will bring the total amount this year in the budget for drug abuse, both in enforcement and treatment, to over $350 million.
I'll pay attention to them numbers.
As far as the new money is concerned, incidentally, I have made it clear to the leaders that if this is not enough, if more can be used, if Dr. Jaffe, after studying this problem, finds that we can use more, more will be provided. In order to defeat this enemy, which is causing such great concern, and correctly so, to so many American families, money will be provided to the extent that it is necessary and to the extent that it will be useful.
Okay, so he said that the war on drugs is public enemy number one.
For you, the meeting that I have just had with the bipartisan leaders, which began at 8 o'clock and was completed 2 hours later. I began the meeting by making this statement, which I think needs to be made to the nation. America's public enemy number one in the United States is drug abuse.
Drug abuse is public enemy number one.
In order to fight and defeat this enemy, it is necessary to wage a new all-out offensive. I have asked the Congress to provide the legislative authority and the funds to fuel this kind of an offensive.
He's asking for money.
This will be a worldwide offensive dealing with the problems of sources of supply, as well as Americans who may be stationed abroad, wherever they are in the world.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Is anybody familiar with what he's talking about? I wonder what does this have anything to do with snowfall? Maybe no, it doesn't tie that. It's not. It doesn't connect. It's totally different.
It will be government-wide, pulling together the 9 different fragmented areas within the government in which this problem is now being handled. And it will be nationwide in terms of a new educational program that we trust will result from the discussions that we have had. With regard to this offensive, it is necessary first to have a new organization.
A new organization.
And the new organization will be within the White House. Dr. Jaffe, who will be one of the briefers here today, will be the man directly responsible. He will report directly to me. And he will have the responsibility to take all of the government agencies, 9.
Wow, y'all hear that? Shout out to you, President Nixon, and your war on drugs.
Ways that people try to deal with opioid addiction. One is to try to basically get people to a point where they are completely abstinent of any kind of opioid in their body. The problem with abstinence-only treatment is that it doesn't really deal with the biology of addiction. The fact that people's brain changes after they've been using opioids for long amounts of time, The fact that people's brain changes after they've been using opioids for long amounts of time. And so even if people have all the right motivations and desires to change, they still have to deal with this biological change in their body. Opioid medications, methadone and buprenorphine in particular, address that biological craving without giving people the experience of euphoria. And medication treatment is absolutely the gold standard for treating opioid addiction. You know, they cut overdose risk.
Wow. So we just saw the video on Nixon, and we just saw a video on medicine being the gold standard for drug addiction. Wow, very interesting. So in 1971, President Nixon declared a war on drugs, dramatically increasing the size and presence of the federal drug control agencies and introducing measures like mandatory sentencing and no-knock warrants. Guys, I'm not even getting into all the different facets and aspects of how this crisis is affecting everyone, because it is a crisis, and it's so many different facets that I could touch on. I could touch on incarceration. I mean, it's just so many different layers to peel back, and that's one of the things that our Saba teaches us, is to peel back the layers. So shout out to best teacher, Saba Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. He teaches us to peel back the layers of the matrix, to peel it back, to dig. You have to dig for the truth. So the drug epidemic in America is not just a problem, it's a crisis. It's affecting millions, tearing apart families and costing billions. You hear that? Billions yearly, billions. When we think of drug addiction, we often picture a certain type of person. But the reality is that drug addiction can happen to anyone, anywhere, and at any time. And it's happening at an alarming rate in our society. Imagine watching someone you love slowly waste away due to drug addiction. That's the harsh reality for thousands of families here in America, struggling to cope with the devastating effects of the drug epidemic. The drug culture in America is only getting worse. the drug culture. Yeah, we got drug culture, car culture, tech culture. We got rappers calling Vlad a culture vulture. People calling each other culture vultures. But everyone's stealing from the culture of Maat. The drug epidemic and incarceration rates in America. Let's look at that for briefly. I'm not going to deal with the incarceration rates, but I will say the overprescription of opioids and the rise of fentanyl are two main factors that contribute to the drug epidemic in America. Opioid prescriptions increased 4 times between 1999 and 2010, leading to more overdose deaths. Pharmaceutical companies like Purdue Pharma marketed opioids aggressively, downplaying their addictive potential. Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid that is mixed with other drugs, making them more potent and has caused a significant increase in overdose deaths. The number of overdose deaths involving synthetic opioids like fentanyl increased by 54% between 2016 and 2017. And fentanyl-related deaths increased by 1,000% between 2013 and 2019. Yo, that's crazy. That is crazy. So it says pharmaceutical companies like Purdue marketed opioids aggressively and they downplayed their addictive potential. Y'all know how much money is behind Big Pharma. I'm not gonna get into that. I'm just presenting the facts. That's it. I'm just touching. I'm just touching on a few things. Peace to you, Stephen E. Stephen E. says Reagan's war on drugs in the 80s and 90s, but now ATEM who are dying, now they want to help. Shout out to you, good brother. Shout out to you. So, I got a question for everyone in the chat. I need that participation from everyone. So I'm gonna ask everyone in the chat, what is the oldest magazine publication in America? Does everyone know? Anyone on the panel? Does anyone know what the oldest? Time. I see Minku say Time magazine. Minku say Time. Shout out. What is the oldest magazine publication in America? I see one. I see Time magazine. Anybody else? Vibe magazine. the source. Time. Maheru says Time magazine. Anybody else? Time magazine. No idea. Stephen E says no. Stephen E says no idea. Playboy. There we go, big. There we go, big babes. Porn culture. That's a great. There you go. Thank you, good brother. I need some more ideas, man. Playboy, Big Vape say Playboy magazine. It might be one of the oldest publications in America. Who knows, brother? Somebody says Geographic. Minku says Geographic. It's nice. Well, anyway, Harper's magazine. Anybody ever heard of Harper's magazine? Has anybody ever heard of Harper's magazine? I see National Geographic. I see Playboy. I see No Idea. I see Time magazine. Well, the oldest magazine publication in America is called Harper's Magazine. And according to Google, according to Wikipedia, Harper's Magazine is the oldest general interest monthly in America. It explores issues that drive our national conversation through long-form narrative. Has anybody ever heard of Harper's Magazine? I think I heard of it, but I've never read it. I don't think I've ever seen it in the grocery aisle at Publix. I don't know. Anyway, Harper's Magazine launched in New York City in June 1850, and it is the oldest continuously published monthly magazine in the U.S. It has won 22 National Magazine Awards. I never knew that. Stephen E. says he's never heard of it. Neither have I, Stephen E. Not until before I started doing this research. And me and my goddess, man, let me tell you guys something. It is a beautiful thing because Saba told me that it was going to be like this, that it was going to get more beautiful the deeper I dove into the knowledge. So shout out to you, Saba, because it is. And he told me to involve my family. So the editor is Christopher Biha, and the categories are art, culture, and literature. And it comes out every month, and it started in June 1850. June 1850. That is a long time ago. So here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. This is a cover of the magazine, Harper's Magazine. And this is a picture from the April 2016 edition. And it says, Legalize It All. How to Win the War on Drugs by Dan T.O.M. What is that? And what is that? She has Tama who has a pill in her mouth with red lipstick on. I wonder what's the subliminals attached to that. Anyway, here we go. So, here go my plug, guys. teachersofmaat.org. Like, subscribe, and comment. We had a Discord meeting. We had a town hall a little while ago, last month. Shout out to everybody that came. There was a brother that came to the town hall. His name was Old Schoolian, and he gave us a wonderful idea. And his idea was, did you know? So shout out to you, good brother. Did you know? See, we listen. Yeah, you heard Scribe. Come join us. We listen. We listen to everybody in the chat. We listen to our supporters. So shout out to everyone that supports. Shout out to everyone that came out to the Discord meeting. We have one coming up in May, so I look forward to seeing everyone there. But did you know that ex-President Nixon's aide, John Ehrlichman, admitted the real reason behind the war on drugs was to target the anti-war left and black communities? By associating hippies with marijuana and blacks with heroin and then criminalizing both heavily, the Nixon administration was able to disrupt those communities, arresting their leaders, raiding their homes, and vilifying them on the evening news. So, the real reason behind the war on drugs was to target anti-war left and black communities. Did you know? 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 So here we go. Here we go. Here's an article from Harper's Magazine, Legalize It All. And it says, in 1994, John Ehrlichman, the Watergate co-conspirator, unlocked for me one of the great mysteries of modern American history. How did the United States entangle itself in a policy of drug prohibition that has yielded so much misery and so few good results? Americans have been criminalizing psychoactive substances since the San Francisco anti-opium law of 1875. But it was Ehrlichman's boss, Richard Nixon, who declared the first war on drugs and set the community on a wildly punitive and counterproductive push it still pursues. I tracked Ehrlichman, who had been Nixon's domestic policy advisor to an engineering firm in Atlanta, where he was working on minority recruitment. I barely recognized him. He was much heavier than he'd been at the time of the Watergate scandal 2 decades earlier, and he wore a mountain man beard that extended in the middle of his chest. Okay, so here we go, right here. At the time, I was writing the book about politics and drug prohibition. I started to ask Ehrlichman, and here is this from over here at the bottom. So it says, I started to ask Ehrlich a series of earnest, wonky questions that he impatiently waved away. You want to know what this really was all about? Asked with the bluntness of a man who, after public disgrace and a stretch in federal prison, had little left to protect. The Nixon campaign in 1968 and the Nixon White House after that had two enemies, the anti-war left and black people. You understand what I'm saying? We knew we couldn't make it illegal to be either against the war or black, but by getting the public to associate the hippies with marijuana and blacks with heroin, and then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt those communities. We could arrest their leaders, raid their homes, and break up their meetings, and vilify them night after night on the evening news. Did we know we were lying about the drugs? Of course we did. Look at it right here. You see, right here, this article right here in Harper's Magazine. And Harper's Magazine is the oldest running magazine, the oldest running publication in history. Since June 1850, this magazine has been in effect. So 1850, I wonder what was going on in June 1850 in America. History, that's what was going on. History. All right, that's, wow. So in Harper's Magazine, we had a interview with one of Nixon's top aides, and that is what he said. He said, the war on drugs was a war on us. I heard that in a record before too, I think. Yeah, I did. Anyway, there it goes. Harper's Magazine, oldest running publication in America. That's what it has to do with the war on drugs. That is what it has to do with the war on drugs. Anybody in the chat ever seen that article? Anybody in the chat familiar with that? Stephen E says, yes, I heard that before the crack epidemic. That was a part of that. Yes, that is good, brother. Yes. So let's look at some statistics and trends, right? So despite similar rates of drug use, minorities are 3 times more likely to be incarcerated for drug offenses than white Americans. This disparity reflects systemic racism within the criminal justice system. They're playing a game with us, y'all. They are playing a game with us, and the proof and the evidence is out there. We just have to be paying attention to see it and be able to recognize it so that we can break this negative matrix that they have us in upside down. So it says, despite similar rates between minorities and white Americans, minorities are 3 times as more likely to be incarcerated for the same drug offenses as whites. This disparity reflects systemic racism within the criminal justice system. The failure of the war on drugs. The war on drugs has disproportionately impacted minority communities, resulting in high incarceration rates, and the failed approach to addiction treatment. If y'all were paying attention, so in the beginning of when I played the Nixon video, there's a link to the whole interview, to the whole press conference that he did, and that was one of the things he talked about was addiction treatment. He talked about he talked about addiction treatment as well, guys. So I want y'all to pay attention now. I want y'all to pay attention. So let's look at some incarceration rates. Remember I told you all I'm not going to go very deep into the incarceration rates. I'm just looking. That's it. We're just looking. So it says, according to data analyzed by the CDC, according to Figure 2 is the U.S. incarceration rates by race and sex. So, according to the data analyzed by the Pew Center on the states, as of January 1st, 2008, more than 1 in every 100 adults is behind bars. So, more than 1 in every 100 is behind bars. That's a very high number. 1 in 100. For the most part, though, incarceration is heavily concentrated among men, racial and ethnic minorities, and 20 to 30-year-olds. Among men, the highest rate is with Black males, aged 20 to 34. Among women, it's with Black females, aged 35 to 39. So 1 in 100 adults are behind bars, according to the Washington, D.C. Pew Charitable Trust, the Pew Center on the States. 1 in 100. And it says white women ages 35 to 39, the incarceration rate is only 1 in 355. 1 in 355 for white women. For Hispanic women, ages 35 to 39, that number gets smaller, and it's 1 in 297. So 1 in 297 women are incarcerated. For all women, ages 35 to 39, it is 1 in 265 right here. 1 in 265 women. And then down here for Black women, what does it say? Black women, ages 35 to 39, 1 in 100. 1 in 100 Black women are incarcerated between the ages of 35 to 39. All right. So now let's look at men, which we should have looked at men first, but I wanted to do it like that. Men, white men, age 18 and older, 1 in 106 are incarcerated. Okay. Black men, between the ages, Black men age 18 or older, 1 in 15. 1 in 15. All men age 18 or older, 1 in 54. Hispanic men age 18 or older, 1 in 36. And Black men age 20 to 34. Age 20 to 34, 1 in 9. Y'all see this right here? 1 in 9. Okay, let's stop for 1 second. I gotta ask anybody in the chat. Does anybody in the chat know anybody? Do you know 10 people, 10 Black men between the age of 20 and 34, and is one of them incarcerated? It's a simple question. You don't have to answer. You don't have to put it in the chat. You don't have to. I don't want to put you guys on the spot. We all family here. We are all family here. So it says Black women between the ages of 35 and 39 is 1 in 100. Black men between the ages of 20 and 34 is 1 in 9. Whereas white men between the ages of 18 or older is 106. 1 in 106. Man, what's wrong with these numbers, guys? What is wrong with these numbers? We are going to continue. I don't want to get upset. I do not want to get upset looking at this. So the way forward, the war on drugs has resulted in disproportionate incarceration rates, as evidenced by those charts we saw. Melanated people, including both Black and Hispanic population, experienced a significant rise in drug overdose death rates in recent years. In 2019, the melanated population had the second highest overdose death rate, with 29.3 deaths per 100,000 people. The overdose death rate among Hispanics was also elevated at 21.6 deaths per 100,000 people. Statistics indicate that melanated individuals and Hispanics are less likely than non-whites, non-Hispanic whites, to receive medications for opioid use disorder. Despite having comparable rates of opioid-related hospitalization, these figures emphasize the uneven effects of the drug crisis on minority communities and imply disparities in treatment access. What is the solution? What is the solution, people? What is the solution? Is Maat the solution? What is the solution, everybody? This is very sad. This is very sad. I had no idea that when I began to do my presentations, I had no idea that it would take me down this rabbit hole. Shout out to you, Stephen E. He said he's had cousins incarcerated, but they're out now. So everyone is familiar with this. Shout out to you, Caro. She said it's very sad. This is very sad. This is very, very, very sad. Look at this. Running back. 1 in 9 black men between 20 and 34 are incarcerated. White men age 18 or over is 1 in 106. You see the disparity? Very, very sad. Our people need to wake up. We need to wake up, people. We need to wake up. Let's look at some statistics. Let's look at some synthetic opioid statistics like fentanyl. So, statistics for synthetic opioids, fentanyl. $71,238 deaths in 2021. In 2020, the deaths were 57,834. So that's a significant increase in just 1 year, from 57,834 deaths to 71,238 deaths. And meth, 32,856 deaths in 2021. And in 2020, 24,576 deaths. And these are statistics according to drugabusestatistics.org. According to the drugabusestatistics.org, cocaine deaths in 2020 was 19,927. But yet, in 2021, just 1 year later, that rose to 24,538 deaths. Now, here we go. Natural, semi-synthetic prescription drug. Deaths in 2020, 13,722. Deaths in 2021, 13,503. So this is according to the CDC and drugabusestatistics.org. CDC, there we go. Shout out to Alexis Peterson, who personifies the CDC, while our ancient ancestors personified truth, integrity, uprightness, Maat. Hail Maat. So, key findings, 96,000 deaths. Over 96,700 people die from drug overdoses a year. 72% of opioids are a factor in 7 out of 10 overdose deaths. Drug overdoses have killed almost 1 million people since 1999. Y'all hear these statistics, people? This is really, really, really sad what's going on in America. But every day we're arguing over foolishness. Every day we're arguing over Isfet, and our children are dying, and we are being villainized as the drug dealers is being glamorized, drug coaches being glamorized in records and music and entertainment and arts, on TV shows, the records, the songs. It's all around us. Video games, it's all around us, and this is the energy that we are transmitting to our children. So let's look at drug overdose death rates. Drug overdose death count can be deceptive. Just as drug-related deaths aren't always reported as overdoses, some overdoses involve multiple drug types. The national OD rate is 21.6 deaths per 100,000 residents. Among youth, and youth adults aged 15 to 24 years, the average annual OD death rate is 12.6 out of every 100,000. The OD death rate among these same age groups is 41.9% lower than the national average drug rate. Men are more than twice as likely as women to die from drug overdose. Men are twice as likely as women to die from drug overdoses. Wow. And women are dying from drug overdoses at a slightly faster annual rate, though. Among 25 to 34-year-olds, the male OD death rate exceeds women by 146.8%. Do y'all hear that? So among 25 to 34-year-olds, the males die exceeded the death rate of women by 146.8%. These is big numbers, guys. Opioids are the deadliest drug type. At least one type of opioid is a factor in at least 71% of all overdoses. Opioids are the deadliest drug type. At least one type of opioid. So in 71%, and so look, in 71.76% of all overdoses, at least one opiate is involved. That is sickening. Dominique Morena says, designed for human error. That's right. Shout out to you. OD deaths rank just below diabetes in terms of the highest death count. Y'all hear this? So overdoses rank just below diabetes in terms of the death count. Man, listen, we better wake up, people. We better wake up. We better wake up. We are losing this war. We are losing this war. So between 2018 and 2019, drug overdoses fell by 4% for the first time since 2012. So in 18 and 19, the overdose rate fell by 4.6%. And this is according to drugstatistics.org. Statistics by age and gender. Drug overdose deaths among age groups per 100,000 residents. Under the age of 15 is 0.2%, 0.3%, males and females. For males, overdose rate among age groups per 100,000, so 17.1% per 100,000 between the ages of 15 and 24 males. Females is 7.9% per 100,000 residents. Y'all see these numbers, man? 85 year. So people 85 years are dying 4.5% per 100,000 residents. So even 85-year-old people are dying from drug overdose. 78-year-old, 65-year-old, 55-year-old. Everyone's dying. Everyone's affected by this. Men, women, but it seems like men are affected at a higher rate, according to statistics, and quote unquote black men are affected at a higher rate of incarceration. What is going on here? What is going on? I thought we was talking about culture. Are we still on culture here? I thought we were talking about culture here. Are we still on culture? Recent drug overdose deaths. More than 4 times as many people died from overdoses than from homicide in the first month of 2021. Did y'all know that? Did you guys know that 4 times as many people died from drug overdoses in the first month of 2021? Just in the first month, 4 times as many people died. Then 96,779,000 drug overdose deaths were reported from March 20 to 21. Overdose deaths total during this period are 36.1% higher than the previous annual rate from December 2018 to December 2019 at 71,130 deaths Preliminary reports indicate the number of drug overdose deaths in America increased 29% in 2020. And in January 2021, drug overdose deaths exceeded homicides by 306.7%. And here we go. Someone put car accidents, motor vehicle accidents, and suicides combined killed 84%. So combined motor vehicle accidents and suicides combined measure up to overdoses. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And this is all according to the drugabusetatistics.org. Shout out to the CDC. Overdose deaths per capita. So right here we can see overdose rates per 100,000 residents. As you can see, is a very, very, very high concentration over here in the northeastern region. We have New York, New Jersey, Philly, very high. Down here, Florida, we have 25.5. California, there's 15. Texas is 10.8%. So y'all see these numbers, guys? The numbers. Anybody in the chat, you don't have to answer, but anybody in the chat, has anybody in the chat been affected? Does any of these numbers, or does any of this that we are speaking about, overdose, drug overdoses, is any of this familiar to anyone in the chat? Yes. We're speaking about culture. Culture here, drug culture. Shout out to the numbers, and shout out to the CDC. Shout out to Alexis Peterson, who personifies the CDC. Shout out to you, good sister. So we're gonna close it up here. I just gave you guys some numbers. I'm just presenting. That's it. I'm just presenting the information and just putting it out there. And you guys do with it what you will. We just looked at some things, looked at some numbers. So according to the American Medical Association's Code of Medical Ethics, 1996 edition, the oath of Hippocrates represents the ideal behavior for doctors. Nowadays, almost all medical students take a modern version of the oath. The number of U.S. medical schools requiring the oath has increased from 24% in 1928 to nearly 100% today. So, what this is saying is that, according to the Medical Association, according to their code of ethics, the number of schools requiring that they take this oath of Hippocrates, has increased from 24% to 1928. Has increased 24% in 1928 to 100% today. So 100% of the schools use the Hippocratic oath. Anyone familiar with that? Shout out to you, Maria Ben-Sebi. Peace and love, Carolina, she says. Shout out to you, Stephen E. He says, yes, unfortunately, I've known a few people that have passed away from overdose, especially opioids. Shout out to you, Stephen E. Shout out to you, Big Vapes. I definitely lived in a crack house in the mid-'80s in Boston. Shout out to you, Big Vapes. When the last time you seen a crackhead, Big Vapes? Who has seen a crackhead or wow? Well, I haven't seen a crackhead in a while. I didn't know that people still sold crack. I didn't even know. So shout out to you, everyone that's in the chat that's participating. I appreciate it. So here it goes. The history of the Hippocratic Oath. So the Hippocratic Oath is one of the oldest binding documents in history, written in antiquity. Its principles are held sacred by doctors to this day. treat the sick to the best of one's ability, preserve patient privacy, teach the secrets of medicine to the next generation, and so on. This is according to Wikipedia, of course. Those of you that are familiar with the teachings of Ma'at.org, and those of you that are familiar with our teacher, Saba Tahuti Amenhotep Ra, then you'll know that I pointed you guys to, in the beginning of my presentation, to his beautiful, beautiful presentation that he did maybe about a month ago on the stroke. And he touched on the Ebers Papyrus and who was the real father of medicine. I'm not going to get into it. I'm just going to deal with what we're dealing with right here, right now. And I'll let you all decide. But here it goes. The Hippocratic Oath from 4000 BCE. That was a long time ago. First appearance of the Hippocratic Oath. Then it was in the 1500s. It was rediscovered by German medieval scholars. And this is according to Online Nursing, NEU.org. And then in the 1700s, it was translated to English and incorporated into Western medicine. So in the 1700s, it was incorporated into English and translated into Western medicine. Shout out to the Ebers Papyrus and shout out to the Brooklyn Papyrus. In 1964, nope, here we go, 1948, it was adopted by the World Medical Association. And then in 1964, the oath was rewritten by Lois Lasagna, which has been adopted by many medical schools. So there it goes, the Hippocratic Oath, everybody. The Hippocratic Oath. Anyone ever heard of it? Anybody ever heard of the Hippocratic Oath? Is anyone familiar with the Hippocratic Oath? Menkuara says opioids and prescription drugs are the new crack. Shout out to you, Menkuara. Opioids and prescription drugs are the new crack. So, what is all of this? How does all of this relate, everyone? Y'all know it seems like I'm all over the place, right? But if you know, you know. What is this? We're back to this again? We are back to this? Wait. So the Hippocratic Oath is one of the oldest binding documents in history. It was written in antiquities. It is principles. It's principles. There we go. Principles are held sacred by doctors to this day. Treat the sick to the best of one's ability. Preserve patient privacy. Teach the secrets of the medicine to the next generation, and so on. Rem Qem Maat says yes. Hippocratic Oath. Hypocrite says yes. Hypocrite Oath. Shout out to Stephen E. says heard of it. Know it was taken from Imhotep. Shout out to you, Stephen E. Nice. Big Babe says yes, he's heard of it. Carol says peace, Maria. All right. So here we go. Black Mafia family. What? I thought we was what? We back to this again? Prosecutors allege the Black Mafia family made over $270 million in the course of their operations. Rick Ross made $300 million in a day, and he made more than $500 million between 83 and 84. This is all speculation, but this is according to Wikipedia. Here we go. So it says, the three largest U.S. pharmacy chains have agreed to pay $13 billion in a settlement to resolve lawsuits claiming they contributed to the opioid epidemic by dispensing opioid drugs despite obvious red flags. CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart face more than 3,000 lawsuits from states, municipalities, and Native American tribes. And this is November 8th, 2022. And right here it says, U.S. pharmacy chains settle opioid lawsuits for $13 billion. Is that what that BN stands for? Hey, in the chat, what does BN stands for? I've never seen that. Is that a big number? What is that? Black nationalist? What does the BN stand for after that 13? Is that a number or what is it? What is that? Shout out to everybody in the chat. What does BN stand for? Y'all see the BN right here? What does that stand for? Is that black nationalist? What is that, 13 billion? Is that what that means, billion? On July 21st, 2021, a $26 billion offer to settle was made by opioid manufacturer Janssen Pharmaceuticals, parent company of Johnson & Johnson. And the big three distributors, McKesson, AmerisourceBergen, and Cardinal Health, the distributors, to resolve their liabilities in over 3,000 opioid crisis-related lawsuits. So, Saba taught us ancestral artifacts over religious opinions. So, there are over 3,000 opioid-related lawsuits. I don't know. You guys go check, go look, go do your research, go dig, go look at your municipalities and look and see if are there any lawsuits. Go check it out. Big numbers. Big Babe say big numbers. Bitcoin, exactly. Big numbers. Big numbers. So check me out, guys. Look at this. So for the war on drugs, Nixon allocated $350 million. Y'all remember that video that I played in the beginning? I'm not going to go back and play that video, but go back and listen to that. The link is at the bottom of that video, where he says he allocated over $350 million to fight the war on drugs. Look at the amounts these companies are paying out for lawsuits. It doesn't even compare. These payouts will be paid out over the next 2 decades. So these payouts that they're paying, the $13 billion, they have to pay these number for the next 2 decades. Meanwhile, one of these guys is still locked up right now, and he only made over 270 million. Hey, is 270 million compared to 13 billion? Are those two numbers close? Because 270 million is a lot of money. I could teachers of I could do some things with 270 million, and forget about it. Rick Ross, 500 million between 83 and 84. So he made $500 million in a year, is what it says. He made $3 million in a day. That's a lot of money. Or is it? Or is $26 billion a lot more money? What's more, everybody? Numbers don't lie. The numbers do not lie. So, y'all see the picture I'm painting here? Do y'all see the picture? Actually, do you guys see the picture that I painted, right? With the numbers, with the war on drugs, with the lie? Do y'all? So, what is the Hippocratic Oath again? What was the Hippocratic Oath? Do no harm. Do no harm was the Hippocratic Oath. Y'all see that? Hey, my presentation was short and sweet, guys. Y'all see that? Do you guys see what is the Hippocratic Oath? The Hippocratic Oath, right here, is one of the oldest binding documents in history. Not the oldest, but it is used 100% today, according to the American Medical Association's Code of Medical Ethics. Remember I showed y'all the definition of Ma'at? Remember I showed y'all the CDC's personification, Alexis Peterson personifying CDC? So our ancestors used to personify integrity, uprightness, the truth, and now we're personifying the CDC. Y'all seen the video? You guys seen the video? Numbers don't lie. So the Hippocratic Oath is do no harm? Huh? The Hippocratic Oath, do no harm. Shout out teachersofma'at.org. Like, subscribe, and comment. I hope everyone appreciates my presentation that I brought forth.
The truth that you do know, you are responsible for telling it and sharing it with your people. My mantra is very simple. I seek the truth. I speak the truth. I stand on the truth, and I stay with the truth. The truth does not need any defense.
Shout out to you. Shout out to you, Tabitha Smiley. The truth does not need no defense. I appreciate everyone for checking out my presentation. I hope you got a lot from it. I hope you're able to decipher the code and the hidden gems. And with that, I am going to end my screen share and end my presentation.
Peace and love. I think he exited out his whole thing instead of just stop sharing the screen. But yes, the good brother will be back very, very shortly. Peace and love to that excellent breakdown of culture as we know it today. Yeah, I know I've definitely had some personal, very, very close personal experiences of overdoses, and young too, like the numbers showed. Let's see, here's the brother Atef. Hey, are you back, good brother?
Hey, brother Matrix kicked me up by the whole studio. I clicked up. Peace and love. Hotep, look, my screen not even on. Hotep, peace and love. I hope y'all was able to decipher them codes. Y'all know Big Pharma don't play by that money. Y'all know they have that big money. They like to send that big money at us. They like to shut the truth down, but you can't get rid of the truth. You can only hide it. So gotta dig for the truth. So shout out to everybody in the chat that participated. Stephen E says the medical industry complexes are the biggest drug dealers. Yes. I hope y'all was able to decipher that code, man. Peace and love to everybody.
Yes, absolutely. It's very necessary what you brought forth. The opioids is absolutely they give that out like candy these days. It's very, very, very easy to get your hands on those. And even when it comes to working to wanting to do better and heal yourself in certain aspects, and they tell you, hey, go to therapy, go seek a therapist. When you go seek a therapist, they're going to do the same thing because they're just as a part of big pharma as all of these medical professionals. So they're going to prescribe you certain medications and not really get to the underlying issue. So to you for bringing that out and showcasing that Ma'at really is the cure for this. For those of us who know and acknowledge and follow Ma'at, understand how powerful her frequency and her energy is, her consciousness is, and can heal all Isfet. That's the entire purpose, is to remove Isfet. And it's very, very it's very sad, showcasing all those numbers, especially the young brothers. Was between 20 and 34, 1 and 9 is locked up in jail. That's an extremely high number. 1 and 9. That's a huge number. And of course, that's the legal slavery system. So when people say, hey, we're free today, it's just it's all an illusion. This is the matrix that they built, and it's very deep. So to you, good brother Atef, for showcasing us and bringing forth this information to start rotating some centers in the mind to be able to connect certain things together, and at the very beginning giving us Ma'at and showing us the solution, and then breaking down what happens when you don't follow Ma'at, when you don't have Ma'at to stand on and to surround you. So Tua to you, good brother, for that. I'll give you a pause for that. I appreciate you, Tua.
Many uk for that, brother. Minku, Ahati, what you brothers think of the presentation?
Go ahead, Manku.
Tua, for your teachings, good brother. I really like how you really shared a lot with the numbers. Numbers don't lie. And so if we think about, this is the 70s, with Nixon allocating $350 million to the war on drugs. Think about that number. That number is probably bigger than a lot of countries that are predominantly melanated people. That's probably more than their overall budget, period. And so to allocate that amount of money just for a war on drug is pretty descriptive to where we're at and the reality of this country. And so they love we love war, and America is the most organized country when it comes to violent war. And so to allocate that money is just them building up their weapons of destruction in every form possible. So it's very telling. So that was good research, my brother, and very proud of you, Tua, for bringing us the truth, because we're in a cultural war, we're in a spiritual war, and I always say they use every tactic imaginable against us. And so the people who are in Ma'at and under the teachings of Saba Tahutis and the teachings of Ma'at are protected, and everybody else, man, I don't see it getting any better. And so that's the 70s. It's 2023, and they don't run out of funds of allocating money to bulk up their defenses and fighting against us. So Tua, for showing us what's really going on in this world, because the Isfet and the Matrix is a very powerful truth in America and in the world. These gangsters don't play. They're the real gangsters. I shared a video with Ani from an artist that talked about the real gangsters. The real gangsters have taken the world. And so we have to really be conscious and aware of what we're up against. So Tua, for your teachings, brother, that was very, very powerful.
Any uk, my brother.
Hey, brother, before I give you my feedback, I want to do a hail for the chat and for everybody on the panel, and then present a couple of things, and then I'll get back to giving you some great feedback. So if you're new to the teachings of Ma'at.org, Study Guide Sundays, welcome. And we appreciate you. And what we do here is we started an old trend. We started an old trend, and it is called the Hanu. It is the hail. Our ancestors from the Nile Valley, this is what they did to each other to build up rapport and encouragement. So we're gonna take it back to do some hailing, and you can find this hailing affirmation or utterance on our website. If you go to teachingsofmaat.org, it's on the home page. You scroll all the way down, it's on the home page. And while you're there, put your email. There's going to be a slot that's going to ask for your email. Put your email there and sign up for our great newsletter as well. We have a great graphics arts team. We have a great editor. We have great content. The content that you received tonight is going to be in the weekly newsletters as well, and they are free. All you got to do is put in your email, and on top of that, once you sign up, you get the 10% discount on some teachingsofmaat.org merch. Okay, so I'm going to read the line in blue, then the line in red. It says, E Neb Ma'at, Per Em Ma'ati. Hail Ma'at is everything. We come forth from her. Henu Saba Tahuti, Amenhotep Ra. Hail Saba Tahuti. Henu Kemet. Hail Kemet. Makaru, Makaru, Makaru. Victory, victory, victory. That is our victory voice. And that is our hailing. Also, I want to give a shout out to our business card team. And what's great about these are, as you can see on the front of the business card here, we have the Study Guide Sundays with the QR code, and we have the Tahuti's podcast with the QR code. Excuse me. And what's great about this is that if all I want to do is just introduce this to my family or friends, I really just have to hand them the business card and tell them to scan one of these codes. You don't even have to do any talking or anything. Matter of fact, this is what I do when I go get a haircut or I go out to a store. People really don't feel like talking. I say, hey, just check this out. It's real quick. Matter of fact, let me show you. I'll pull out my phone. I'll scan the QR code. I'll show them my phone to let them know it's not a scam. And then it shows our website. And I go, oh, okay, cool. And then they take the card. So it's really simple for those of you that don't really want to get into a conversation with people. And on the back of the business card is the QR code too. And what's great about these cards are, if you can't tell already, is again the graphics, the real eye-popping colors. And on the back, you see the Meadow Netter in gold plates on a wall. So really nice. So if you want to purchase these, all you got to do is get some merch. I believe Ani Pata is still giving some of them out, or you can support us and ask how you can get 20, 50, 100, 250, and we'll give you a very, 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 very nice price. Then lastly, for those of you that are contemplating signing up to be members of the Teachings of Maat movement, you will also get a membership card. So we have membership cards, and your membership card will have your photo, and it will also have your position if you're an active member. And it'll have your member number, the date you joined, and then a signature slot if you want to sign it. And the reason why we have this is to break our mindset out of this government and really all governments identification. What's the word? Identification. I want to say brainwashing, but mind control. Okay, so the driver's license, you only got it because you have, quote unquote, have to get it, right? Whereas this is something that you want. If you join our movement, it's because you want to join. Nobody's forcing it or telling you have to get it. So this comes as a complimentary gift to you. It's something you can carry. It's small enough so you can carry around in your wallet if you like to. And it also comes with our Kemet color code, which is the original red or the original RBG, which is red, black, and gold. Which red stands for the millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of our ancestors that shed their blood for the truth. Black is for our consciousness, our melanated consciousness, and gold is for our light. And the Middle Netter word for gold is Noob, which also means light, which also translates to Ku in the Middle Netter, which means right back to your consciousness. Okay? So if you'd like to join us and get one of these cards, just inquire with one of us at leadership@teachingsofmaat.org. That's our email. And somebody will get back to you quickly. All right, so Brother Atef went back into the Netter. I would have liked to seen him while I'm saying this to him, but brother, oh, there he is. He popped back in.
Yeah.
That's what we do. That's what we do on the Teachings of Maat. We perform magic on the screen for you. Brother, that is, I like your presentations because they're really easy to grasp. And the topics are interesting because it pertains to what's happening today in our lives as well. At the same time, you're dropping the MetaNetter, and you're dropping the knowledge that you learned through the MetaNetter class that's on Mondays with Saba. So you're weaving and you're intermeshing that all together, and it makes it interesting, because this drug system is all caused by a mentality that's gone totally into the trash. It's a totally evil society we're in right now. And the main reason, this is conjecture, this is my opinion, the only reason that people are taking drugs is because they don't know what their identity is. So when you don't know who you are, there's a big gaping hole inside of you, and everybody's throwing out all this information to try to help you to fill that gaping hole, but it's like sand in a pothole. All it does is keep sinking deeper, till finally, if you're lucky, you kill yourself. And people are going to say, well, no, that's not lucky, that's not good. But you don't understand what's going through that person's mind before they kill themselves, because in their mind they think, well, the voices stop and now I have peace. That's what's going through their mind. Because I thought like that many times. We didn't. What we're doing here, I call it Kepa evolution or Kepa revolution, because that's what the Netter Kepa is. It created the word evolution, then turned into revolution. I wish I had a teacher's Maat when I was out there doing what I was doing on the streets. And I know there's a lot of brothers and sisters right now that might find us that this will be quote unquote godsend to them, what RCAD taught tonight. Because not only is RCAD teaching this from research, RCAD is teaching this from his own experience, because he works in the field. And yes, I'm going to plug him a little bit. He works in the actual help. He works in treatment facilities, as they call it. That's up for debate too. He works in the field, so he actually deals with the subject one-on-one almost every day that he taught about. So we're not just sitting up here pulling stuff off the internet and throwing it to you and hoping you like it. We're actually, once again, what we teach about, what we speak about, is what we actually live through experience. And he's just bringing more awareness with the statistics and what's more in the mainstream. So everything he talked about with Rick Ross, I don't know a lot of the TV shows because I don't watch TV, but I did watch a lot of documentaries on Rick Ross, and I know about Ronald Reagan and Nixon. I know Nixon behind closed door. I have one of his videos on tape where he calls us niggers. We got to do something about these niggers in our country. He's talking to Billy Graham. So for all your grandmothers or mothers that are into Christianity and Billy Graham is agreeing with Nixon that they got to take care of the niggers in this country. So what we're doing here is we're trying to create a frequency where the people that are listening to us, not only now but in the future, can see the evil that we see. Everything is evil. And that sounds like a hyperbolic statement, but it's true. If anybody has questions on that, you can ask any of us here on the panel if you come up after when I'm done, or just send us an email if you want to be anonymous. We're about total transparency here. We don't hide anything. One of Maat's attributes is honesty. We're totally honest here. And this country is totally evil. And only evil country does not solve its problem with its people where they're quote unquote mentally ill, meaning that they're using drugs or they're drinking or they have some other sort of problem. Because realistically, we can look at people in our own family that aren't following Maat that are very ill, but they go to work every day. They provide financially for their family, but you try to bring them this truth and they reject you cold-heartedly. Sometimes they tell you to remove yourself from their life. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to do that? That's what it actually takes. And it's very hard. I don't expect a lot of people to do that. But are you willing to do that? That's something you really have to think about if you want to be a true follower. It's not an easy path. And there's a lot of people out there that need our help and are sick. A lot of people. I live in an area. I live in Los Angeles, and there's a lot of sickness out here. A lot of sickness. And I don't shy away from it to the fact where I actually stare at them. A lot of people don't want to look at that. A lot of people turn their head. I actually stare at them. And sometimes they talk to me like a guy on the train yesterday. I'm going to end with this. like a guy on the train yesterday, and I could just sat there when he came in talking to himself and acting crazy, and all the Mexican and the black people were looking at him like he's crazy. I could have just kept silent, not say a word, but I decided to open up to him. Why? Because I was once him. I was once him. And now I'm not, and now I'm in a position where I can help him. So he's opening up and he's blah, 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 blabbing, blah, 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 blah. He has all the answers, and you can tell the guy's homeless and he's a drunk. He has a bottle in his hand. He's like drinking while I'm talking to him. He's drinking while I'm talking to him on the red line in Los Angeles, the subway. And there was some business guy standing next to me, and the business guys listening to me as I'm talking to the drunk. And I told the guy flat out, because he started talking about his father. I said, "You're better than your father," because inside his consciousness, his father still holds some type of anchor to him. And I said, "You're better than your father. Matter of fact, your father's not here right now, so your father's irrelevant." He said, yeah. And I'm not going to go too deep into it. The point that I'm making is that a lot of these people exist, and a lot of these people are intelligent like us, and a lot of these people have big hearts like us, and all these people need is somebody like you and I that are watching tonight, watching this lesson that Atef provided. And we can do tremendous works out there. If that's your intention, I know that's mine, but we can do tremendous works in our own way. And you can leave with that homeless person thinking to themselves and putting that bottle down in the trash and giving you a fist pump and saying thank you. And I wasn't expecting thank you, because I told them, like I'm going to tell everybody else here, I do this because it helps you more than it helps you. You just don't know it. I do this because it helps me more than it helps you. That's why I do it. That's why I do. That's one of the main reasons I come to the show every week. It's one of the main reasons that I support Saba, because it still helps me. And a lot of you are here because it helps you too. And if it stops helping you one day, well, then we'll know because you leave. But that's the whole point of this. Maat was all about us reconnecting in the community again and helping one another and building. And I told this other gentleman today also, because he's asking me, how do you not have a job but you have money? And the thing is, I'm telling him, man, you may have the resources that I need, and all I have to do is talk to you, open my mouth, and you like what I'm telling you because I'm teaching you something, so therefore you make what? A donation, you give to me. It's that simple. And in Kemet, before the money was created, we would build things together, tangible things, temples, houses, homes, agriculture, militaries, right? We were the military. We would build warriors, soldiers, regiments, battalions, squadrons. And how do we do it? We weren't paying the soldiers. We were teaching them and feeding them. So I want to get back to that. I honestly believe we're not going to get that for a few generations, but we can give hope to I don't like the word hope, sorry. We can help our children get there, so that Atef, Ani, Menkura, and me, there doesn't have to be a replication of this evil and the struggle and the drugs and the mental health and the violence and the chaos. All that can be eradicated once and for all. So Atef, brother, this presentation, I could definitely see you prepared. You were coming with that Ma'at energy. You were here to put your foot on Isfet's neck. And I'm really proud of you, brother. And I look forward to the next time you teach. Peace.
Sure, brother. Appreciate you. Shout out to you, good brother. Ani, you gonna do the newsletter? We got the link in the chat for anybody want to come up to the panel and come to this beautiful space. Come dialogue with us. Don't be scared. What happened to the brother from last week?
He's in the netherworld right now. He ain't coming back.
Who are you talking about?
The brother was bringing in that Isfet when you was presenting. You didn't notice him. We didn't even bring him to you. So
it was it was chaos, man. But shout out to everybody. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I do have some support I want to show that we received. So yeah, the Cash App, Teachings of Ma'at, PayPal, Teachings of Ma'at. If you appreciate this information and you appreciate what we're bringing forth, support us. it goes a very, very long way, and we appreciate everyone who supports us because it allows us to keep doing what we're doing and building and expanding for the community. So I want to give a shout out to those who support. The Cash App and PayPal is the links are pinned to the top of the chat as well, so you can just hit the link, and it's also in the description box for those of you who are watching after. So let's show. We'll start with this good brother here, Stephen E. He sends 3372 with the hell hands and the Henu fist. So 2 out to you, good brother Stephen E, for your support, your very generous support. We are most definitely grateful for your presence and for your support. And we know you support Maat. So 2 out to you, good brother Stephen E, Stephen Escalar. All right. And next we have Maria Bensebi. 2 out to the goddesses. She says $22. She says Tua Atef Rem for a much needed class. Always great. Always great. Yeah, shout out to you. One of the beautiful protectresses who comes in and supports the teachings of Maat very heavily. So 2 out to you, and the support that you give me personally, and the support that you bring forth for the teachings. So hail to you, Marie. All right, and so far that's the support that we have gotten. So for those of you who appreciate this, be sure to show the great brother Atef some support. Let him know that you appreciate what he brings forth, you know, and associating and attaching Maat to everyday culture that we all, I'm sure, have been affected by. So show some support, even if it's you know, it doesn't have to be what the brother Stephen E, you know, he supports generously. Maria, just, you know, what you can, so we can keep this energy flowing, right, to keep the currency within our own circle here. So shout out to everyone. The link is in the chat. You can also support that way by coming up to the panel and letting yourself be seen and giving a hell, and letting your tones be heard. Okay, so Tua. All right, let's see. We do see. All right, appreciate you guys. Appreciate you. We see some more support coming in. I just refreshed the Gmail. There we go. I knew you guys were in here. So where are the supporters at? All right, 2 out to everyone. So give me just a couple minutes and I'll prepare these. Good brother Atef, if you want to say a couple things while I screen share these.
Atef Maat, peace and love to everybody that support. Y'all see what's going on here. We building this nation brick by brick, little by little. It's a process, man. I hope y'all caught that snake style. Y'all got to run it back and catch the snake style, right? Because I be trying, man. It be a lot of wisdom our teacher be giving us, in the way that he teaches, in the way that he breaks things down. So that was my version of it. I used to watch Saba teach, and I used to say to myself, I used to look at the things that he wasn't saying and then look at how he tied things that don't seem like they tie together. And just to tell you, it was a lot of energy. It was a short presentation. It presented very short, but it was a lot of beautiful energy that went into presenting it, to creating it, the backstory. So shout out to my goddess for always supporting me and supporting that presentation that I brought forth, because it's deeper than y'all think, and it's very, very basic. But if you run it back and you pay attention, there's a couple there's a couple of things in there. So my goddess watches. She watches the fighting, the UFC, and she gets upset when people tap out. she like, just put them for real. And she says, just put them to sleep. Like, just put me to sleep. Just break my arm. So if you run back the teachings, it's a lot of submissions in there, low key. That I got the best teachers. So it's some snake style in there. Seem real basic, but yeah, and it's a lot of information. It actually sparked a lot of dialogue too. So one of the things that she said was, she said, wow, so we just found out in 2016 that information just came, that article from the magazine just came out in 2016. It's a very recent article. And if you guys are familiar with the storyline to some of those popular TV shows, yeah, they playing a game with us. And it's very, very, very deep. The Isfet. Scribe, you got it together?
Yes, sir. I'm ready. I'm ready when you are.
Shout out to everybody that supports. You could go ahead and do the support.
All right, to our good brother. All right, we have Jason Kirkland.
Shout out to you, Jason. To our good brother.
He sends 572. He says for Hinu, the T.O.M panel. Hinu Atef Rem Qem Maat.
To our good brother.
Yes, absolutely. The brother is always hailing, bringing forth that very powerful energy. So to you, good brother, for your consciousness and your energy that you bring forth, keeping the vibrations and the consciousness high within the Discord chat, and when you present yourself here on the YouTube. So to you, good brother, one of our active members. Right. All right. Next we have Eric G. That's it. He stands $12 for the great work.
Shout out to you, Eric G. $2 for that.
Yes, peace and love, good brother Eric G. You are a consistent supporter. We most definitely appreciate. We appreciate your presence here at the T.O.M. We know that you, this brother, inquired about becoming a member of the teachings of Ma'at. So we should expect to see this good brother on the membership list here very soon. So shout out to you, great brother Eric G.
Shout out to you, good brother.
All right, I think this is the last one that we have coming up. Let me refresh my Gmail and see if we have any more support coming in for your wonderful presentation that you brought forth for us, Atef. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. Here we go. We have Amun Min Wa Sut Atu. He says $10. Unexplainable gratitude. That's a lot of gratitude. So to you, great brother Amun Min.
To you, good brother. To everybody that support the truth, man. Y'all see, we got a small room, we got a beautiful small family, but we get a lot of support. When I used to watch those other chats, I didn't see this level of support. So we really, really, really appreciate all the support and everybody that support the truth and support Ma'at and support our teacher and all you great brothers and just that support the truth, man. So I was teaching this Friday on Nike was, oh man, it's monumental, man. What's going on right now is it's not happening nowhere right now on the internet. That's why I always shout him out on the internet. But what we bringing forth it's not going down anywhere else. No one's presenting and bringing forth the wisdom and doing the knowledge, as they say, like our teacher. And that's just a fact. And I encourage everybody in here to look forward to the Matrix Part 4 breakdown that was received, and also to encourage our great Saba to come forth with that new creation book. Shout out. So shout out to all the supporters, man. Hey, Scribe, you saw that in the background, right?
Yes, I had a great feeling that you was gonna do that, because you do that every time, because I know you want that just as much as I do.
I had to back it
he
up,
shows
yes.
that, he shows those teachings in that creation book. I'm like, oh yes, we gotta have that.
Yes, it's necessary, man, because the thing about it is that we gotta value the truth. We gotta value the truth. Listen, when he did the presentation on Nike, I'm ashamed to say how much money I've wasted on designer Nikes. We'll just keep it at Nikes, right? I'm ashamed to say it, but I'm honest. I'm honest with myself, right? Because I don't live like that no more. But I did it just like everyone else, right? And I did it because I felt like I had to do it like everyone else, right? You feel like you gotta have those new Jordans and those new designer, and we just steady feed into the matrix. We just steady feeding into the negative matrix. We're steady hustling backwards and not recognizing the truth. But shout out to everybody that's peeling back those layers, man, and stepping out of the matrix, because it's a beautiful, 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 beautiful time that we are in right now. And we have a beautiful teacher, and we have a beautiful culture. And that's the purpose of me presenting this on culture, is that we have a culture. We have a beautiful culture, and that culture is called Ma'at. So shout out to everybody that recognizes that, and shout out to everybody that supports Ma'at and that supports the truth, as we once supported the lie. And it's a process. So, I'm on this journey with you all. So let's continue to step out of the matrix. Teachingsofmaat.org. Like, subscribe, and comment, and come join us. Come join us, and teachingsofmaat.org every Sunday. Come join our Saba for our Monday Medu Netta class. It is groundbreaking. It is phenomenal. Come join us for our Friday Tahuti's pod class every Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific. It is going to be super fire. I can't, man. Listen, I'm looking forward to that Matrix 4 breakdown. Listen, Friday's already here in my mind, right? I'm already at Friday. Every day is gonna. I hope he does it this Friday. I don't know. Let's see, guys. Let's see. But because he was behind, he had a lot of questions. But man, listen, it's a beautiful time we in. Menku, what's going on with you, brother? You chilling? I love that background.
And we trust, baby. I woke up with this new energy. The netter sent me that new phrase I'm pointing, and we trust. But that comes from, the energy of Saba Tahuti and you brothers. You brothers are the light of my life, and this energy that we're in is blessing me every day. So, and we trust. Tua for the truth. Tua for your courage, brothers, and everything that you bring. We just got to keep moving forward. All is well. It's beautiful. We're strong. We're powerful, and it's our time. In this technology era, we're doing our thing in the digital realm. So we're exactly right where we're supposed to be. So Tua to all you brothers. Peace to the chat. Love, peace, and prosperity to everyone.
Tua. Ani.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, I'm also I'm looking forward to one of my goddesses. She asked Saba Tahuti, she said, can you explain the difference in the consciousness between the children in Kemet versus the children today? Because here today, they say that your brain doesn't fully develop until a specific certain age in your 20s. And when we look at our 12 and 13-year-olds today, how can we, if we look at them today, would they be able to run a nation, right? Would they be able to lead a group of people, right? And so let me shout her out. Yeah, the great sister Kato She asked a wonderful question, and it's very important, especially for us raising the children, right? And changing our own perception and what our children are able to do, right? And how advanced the children really are, especially being brought into this type of information from as young as possible. It's absolutely amazing what they'll be capable of doing, and we'll be able to echo a lot of what they brought forth in ancient Kemet, and the things that you taught on today will start to dissipate, right? You know, it's very important. You know, we are definitely in a war. This is a physical war. This is a quote unquote spiritual war. There's a lot of energy going around, and a lot of thoughts that are planted that may not even come from you, right? They may not even come from you, these thoughts that you have. And I can tell you right now that the drugs that play a heavy part in that, and you know, the people who plant these things definitely know that. They understand that. And I even remember, maybe like 10, 15 years ago when they would play infomercials of certain medicines and drugs. At the very end, they would use like a Twister voice or Bone Thugs voice, and running down all the side effects super fast. So now they do it so slow. It's so slow. They don't even try to speed it up, move it past you, because it's done been planted deep within the subconscious now, where we don't even really pay attention. You know, here's this medicine that's for high blood pressure, or to regulate another part of the body, but then at the same time it'll cause suicidal thoughts, and they'll tell it to you, you know, real slow, just like this, and you know, have a beautiful little sun flying in the background, and children playing, and wind blowing, you know. So it's really hypnotism. Like I watch, like these people are so hypnotized that they don't even have to speed past it no more. So yeah, Tua, for your great teaching today. It was absolutely beautiful. And yeah, shout out to all the supporters. teachingsofmaat.org. Go there, subscribe to the channels. All our information is there. Go to the Discord, sign up for the newsletter, and reach out to us. If you have anything that you feel can help bring forth the energy of Ma'at to a larger demographic. We are looking for that. We are looking for people who want to build with us, who want to bring forth their skill set and place your brick in the Aku here and help build this foundation. So shout out to everyone. Peace and love to everyone who's here and who supports the Saba Tahuti pod class, Metanetter Monday class. I may even put together like a little snippet for the Metanetter Monday class, so you guys can see what really goes down in that class. It's absolutely beautiful. It's fire. The teachings are phenomenal, and it's far more personal than the pod class. So you can always reach out to us at teachingsofmaat.org and inquire how to get into the Metanetter Monday class. This past week, we really didn't even go over much Metanetter. We did a role-playing class. Where Saba Tahuti became Chris the Christian and became an atheist, and was asking us questions and teaching us how to communicate with different types of people with different types of backgrounds, so we can bring forth this information of Ma'at to everyone, whether you're a Christian, Muslim, you study Islam, a 5%er, whatever it is that you are, atheist, you're into science and no spirituality. Ma'at has a way to bring forth this information to you, because this is where it starts. This is where science meets all the magic as well. So shout out to the Metanetter Monday class. Stephen E says, what? Can't wait for class tomorrow. Man, Mondays are beautiful. Yes, absolutely.
That's a fact. That is an absolute fact. And y'all better realize what's going on here, man, in real time. This is a movie for me. This is a real, live, beautiful movie for me because the magic is happening in real time. It's not like you're catching the magic after the fact. You're actually witnessing the magic in real time. Every Friday, you're witnessing the magic. I was a skeptic, if that's what you want to call it. At first, I was real skeptical. At first, I wouldn't say at first because I actually recognized the truth soon as I heard it. But the truth was so beautiful, and I was so accustomed to the lie, to the ugly lie, that it was monumental to me at first. Like it was a tough pill for me to swallow, because there's so much Isfet. There's so much, but the scales have to be balanced. Did y'all see the definition of Ma'at? The scales balance exactly. That's another definition of Ma'at, right? According to our ancestors. So it's about balance. It's about, recognizing the truth and then beginning to balance out those scales. And it's a process. It really is, and I know how it is for my people. So that's why with today's presentation, I wanted it to be about something that is familiar to all of us, right? And that's drug culture. And that's what we call it. We call it drug culture, car culture, black culture, white culture. These are the terms that we use, not even understanding the word culture traced back to cultivate. I'm not even going to get into it. I got the best teacher on the internet, but my only point is that we celebrate every culture but what's real. We know about everybody else's culture. We know about everything. Every culture we know about. You name it. Tech culture, game culture, car culture, gang culture, drug culture, black culture, Chinese culture. We know about every other culture, quote unquote. But when you look in the mirror, what culture do you really support? The lie or the truth? Isfet or the truth? It's up to you. You make the decision because the truth is there. Once you see it, once you recognize it, then you have a responsibility. You have a duty. You have a responsibility. Or maybe you don't. You get to decide. But I chose to do the right thing. Once I recognized Ma'at and I recognized that was my foundation, then that's my place that I move from. And that's my name. Atef Rem Qem Maat. Peace and love to everybody in the chat. Peace and love to everybody on the panel. Do we have anybody that want to come up and dialogue with us? If not, we will close it out. Another beautiful, beautiful, beautiful class.
Before we do that, I want to ask the good brother Atef Maat a question. I'm looking at your background there, good brother, and I see something says designer essential oils. My eyes, can I get a good look at that background? What's this say? God sent.
Let me try something. Hold on.
Okay, good.
Let me see if I can. Can you see it?
Hey, there we go. Let me blow this up. Let me see. Oh, okay. Beautiful. God sent. The awakening has begun. Ma'at's fragrance. Okay.
Let's go.
Nice.
Let's go.
I know. Everyone in the chat is wearing some sort of fragrance, some cologne or perfume. Well, we got our oils. So if you're interested, hit us up at leadership@teachingsofmaat.org, or you can hit me up on. I even opened a Facebook account for this and Instagram. So you can hit me up on Facebook or Instagram, but only for this. Don't hit me up asking me about why does Saba ask for donations? Why is it TEF? Why is he always talking about culture? Just keep it strictly to the oils and stay focused. And I would be happy to give you greater prices. I got all types. I have all types of oils coming out, and they're safe for your skin. They're gonna be strong. It's not gonna be a lot of oil salesmen tell you that the oils last a long time. Honestly, they don't. You have to do something to make them last. And no cologne or oil lasts more than 4 to 5 hours. I don't care what Giorgio Armani or whatever they are say. It all depends on your skin. But come out and support. This is something different we're trying, and that I'm trying. Excuse me, and just come out and show your support. If you got a man in your life, sisters, hit me up, and we'll do some business.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Scribe. Tua.
Nini Ook. All right. Yes, sir. If we don't have any more words, yes, good brother Atef, you can close us out if you'd like to.
Okay. Hit me up, Jason.
Minku, you got any closing words before we end it?
Yo, I just need to get some of that Egyptian musk from Hati.
Hey, I got Kashi. I got Kashi musk for you.
Okay, cool.
Commission
cool.
Musk. Nice.
Yeah. I just want to say peace to the chat, to the panel. Hail you, Atef, for your great presentation today and your wonderful teachings. That's all I have.
Tua, good brother.
Yeah, Tef, just to say something real simple and fast. You are the Tchechiu. If people don't know, this is our spokesperson for T.O.M. And his MetaNetter position name is literally the spokesperson. And he's definitely demonstrated that tonight. Great job, brother.
Tua, brother. Tua. Ani, we'll close it out.
Yes, sir. Peace and love to everyone. Atef Maat, for all the support, all the great supporters. We appreciate you. We appreciate you so much. And I want to, of course, say Tua to everyone who gives us your attention, because without your attention, then this never even existed. So Tua to you for that and your consciousness. MetaNetter Mondays. Email Saba Tahuti. His email is on the website. You can find everything at teachingsofmaat.org. But I'll go ahead and say it. It's mysticaltelevision@gmail.com. Reach out to him for the MetaNetter Monday class. All right. So hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week. As the scribes do, write down and document what you want to bring forth. What they call manifest, what you want to bring forth, write it down and read it before you go into the Upesh realm and carry that frequency with you. Because when you go to sleep, the work doesn't stop. You continue. So write your goals down and let's work together to bring those forth into this physical reality. So Tua, Atef Maat, and peace and love to everyone.
Atef, peace and love. This was a beautiful, beautiful class. Thank you for coming out and sharing your energy. Thank you for supporting. Like everyone on the panel said, we appreciate your support. Infinite gratitude to everyone. Shout out to our teacher. Hail to our teacher, the breaker of the matrix, breaking more people out of the matrix than granddads and ASICs. The Saba Tahuti Amenhotep Ra, the breaker of the matrix. Hail you, Saba. Hail Ani Pata Aten. Hail Minku Ra. Hail Ahati Maat. And hail to everybody in the chat. Hail to the teachings of Maat.org. We're going to end this beautiful presentation as we begin with our beautiful affirmation. And from the teachings of today, if we're going to personify something, let's personify the truth and not the CDC. On a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Unki Qem Maat. Un-NS. Nintet Oset Qem Maat. Menhepapet Qem Maat. Her Inhuqui. Per Iku. I live for Maat. I exist within her. I do not speak in the place of Maat. Every day I advance towards Maat. My being is surrounded in darkness. I come forth as conscious light. Atef Maat.
Shed. Closed my eyes, then I woke up back in my bed. I could see my room as clear as looking through a lens. See, I thought I was awake, so then I tried to move, but my body shocked me like I was plugged in a socket. I started panicking and scrambling within my mental. I thought I died and now my body, I'm forever locked in. I was screaming, help me, someone help me please. But there wasn't any sound making it through my teeth. I could see movement in motion, shadows gather around me. How could I close my eyes already closed. Eating alkaline at this time, fasting reads so shocking. I was stuck in a paralysis, fear had me froze. It's time to shed. It's time to shed. I heard a voice in the back of my head. Rebirth, it's time to shed. It's time to shed. It's time to shed. I heard a voice in the back of my head. Rebirth, it's time to shed. I finally started waking up and coming back. I was in the opposite of state's effect. That's relaxed, I grabbed my phone and started to do research. Knowledge of what happened, I was in a lack. Insidious, the movie came direct to mind. Every time I seen this, it was connected to what's not divine. Demons crawling forcefully, holding the body down. Ain't no point in trying to scream, you will not make a sound. Deep within, I knew I made that a reality. The all is mine, I saw it, and so shall it be. I start replacing fear with knowing universe is mental. Talking to my subconscious to wake me up in dreams. Then one day my spirit guides came in so essential. Daylight's astral playing loud in my dream helps to set me free. I'm back in paralysis, laying on my couch. But this time I was calm, ready to exit out. It's time to shed. It's time to shed. I heard a voice in the back of my head. Rebirth, it's time to shed. It's time to shed. It's time to shed. I heard a voice in the back of my head. Rebirth, it's time to shed. From what I read, I need to move my arms in front of me. See a rope and pull it, separate and then release. Now I'm out, I see my house is gleaming, I accept it. Looking in the mirror, staring at my car's reflection. I was so ecstatic, flying in every direction. This was months of subconscious reprogramming and redirection. Place my thoughts in my body, wake up, that's what I did. I was reborn from that day so I could start to live. It's time to shed. It's time to shed. I heard a voice in the back of my head. Rebirth, it's time to shed.
But I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it.